Okay. So in the last class, we were seeing the electrohydraulic forming or electrospark forming. So what is the basic difference between the electrohydraulic forming and the explosive forming? So these are all high velocity forming processes, types of high velocity forming, where the basic difference is that in electro sorry the explosive forming, in the explosive forming we use certain explosives, right? So using certain explosives, it is detonated, and the pressure waves created by the detonation or the explosion is being used to collapse the workpiece towards the mold. While in the case of electrohydraulic forming, so we can see here, this was the figure, and this is the particular die. This is the die. The black color, you can see the die, and here is a portion where it is evacuated and the vacuum is generated here. Vacuum. This is the workpiece, and here you can see two electrodes, one over here and one other here, and the gap between them, there a high potential is given, so a sudden electric discharge is given. So as a result, a spark is being generated. Okay, here a spark is generated. So using the sudden electric discharge, sparks are produced between the electrodes, and this spark that creates a or produces a shock wave, in the water medium. How it produces the shock wave? There is a transfer medium here, transfer medium filled over here, basically water. So that will be vaporized. So as the sparks or electric spark is generated over here, it may create the rise in temperature, and using this rise in temperature, the transfer medium gets vaporized. So by or while vaporizing the surrounding fluid, that may create a high intensity shock wave. You can see here the high intensity shock waves, and this will reach the workpiece and collapse it to the what you call the die. So this is the basic mechanism. So here, what is the energy conversion? We have already seen that is a electrical energy is being converted into mechanical energy. How it is converted? The electrical energy in the form of electric pulses is being given in order to make the or produce the electric spark. And while the electric spark is being generated, it is it melts the vaporizes the liquid, surrounding liquid, and it may help to produce the pressure waves or shock waves, and this while reaching the workpiece, it gets deformed. So that is the mechanical action. So finally the electrical energy is being totally converted into the mechanical energy, and the forming operation is being conducted. So here only one difference is that in the case of explosive forming, it is a single shot operation. That means it is just exploded for once. After the single explosion itself, the final product is being created. Now using this process, that is the second process, electrohydraulic forming or electrospark forming, the energy produced by the spark, this is usually less than the energy which is produced in the case of explosive forming. So here, comparing to the previous process, that is explosive forming, which all energy is produced, which will be less than that produced using the explosive forming. So what happens is we need to repeat the operations or several times. We cannot form the particular workpiece in a single shot. Rather, we have to have a several times in order to achieve the desired result. So the tremendous amount of energy will be stored in the capacitor. We have seen there is a capacitor circuit. A capacitor circuit will be attached to this particular, what do you see, the electrode. So some certain mechanisms or certain connections will be there. So ultimately, using the capacitor, which all energy is being stored, it will be discharged at that time when the spark is to be generated. So the voltages mainly from 10,000 to 30,000 volt is being generated. And this is mainly used to produce the spark. So these are about the main things about the procedure. Next, we will see what are the advantages. We'll see what are the advantages. So what are the advantages of a electrohydraulic forming or electrospark forming? First of all, regarding the tool cost. So comparing to conventional forming process, the tool of costing, cost of tooling will be much lesser because it is having only certain number of parts, or either male or female part will be there. The rest will be just the application of the pressure waves or shock waves. Using the shock waves only, we deform the workpiece and not using any other extra pressing or complex pressing operation or using any punch and all. So the cost of the tooling will be reduced. So less cost of tooling. Then it is possible to have a large amount of energy into isolated areas. So piercing operations, in case of any piercing operation, making holes and all. So to a isolated areas or a small amount of area, we will be able to pass the large amount of energy. So that is another advantage. That is larger amount of energies can be directed to isolated areas. So that we will be able to have the piercing operations and all. Next is the regarding the reproducibility. So reproducibility is the another advantage. This can be used for reproducing the products again and again, or it can be used again. That is in the case of explosives and all. Once it is detonated, another explosive we have to be used. Here in the case, we are just creating the sparks. So again and again, we will be able to conduct the experiment or the procedure. Next, regarding the control, we will be able to have a better control. Better control is possible. So better control of the pressure pulse can be possible because it is electrically controlled. So we'll be able to control the parameters. By controlling certain parameters, we'll be able to control the pressure pulse. So the end product also we'll be able to control. Next, since we are not using any explosives like the previous case, this will be safer. So safer in handling. Safer in handling. Safer in handling. Then this is mainly suitable for small to medium size. So in the case of explosive, we have it is possible only for the huge workpieces. For large workpieces with thicker surface only we will be able to handle. So in this case, it is the range starts from the small to medium range. Small to medium workpieces are possible to machine or operate. So in this case, thin plates are possible. That is in the other case, that is by using explosive forming techniques, only thick plates can be formed. Here in this case, we'll be able to form the thin plates can be formed. Thin plates can be formed. Next, finally, it does not depend on the electrical properties of the workpiece material. So while it is whether it is conducting or not, it is not an issue. So this total process, it is not dependent on or does not depend on the electrical properties of the workpiece. Okay, so these are the main advantages of a electro-hydraulic forming or electro-spark forming. So first of all, regarding the cost of tooling, less cost of tooling will be there. Only less amount of components are incorporated. So we have only less cost for the tooling. Then large amount of energy can be directed to isolated areas. So in order to have piercing operations and all, large amount of energy can be directed. And then reproducibility, that is another advantage. Then better control is possible for the pressure pulse because we are using the electrical mode and not the explosive mode. And then we have seen it is safer in handling compared to explosive materials. So we are not using any explosive materials so that the system will be safe. And next is the suitability of the work size. Or regarding the work size, here we can form the machines, work pieces which are in the range of small to medium. Then thin plates, even thin plates can be formed using this particular operation. And finally, one more, that is regarding the dependency. That is, this process does not depend on the electrical properties of the workpiece. It is independent of the electrical properties. Which all electrical properties are there, it is independent on that. So these are about the advantages. Now, similarly, there are certain disadvantages also. So the disadvantages. The main disadvantage is regarding the energy rating of the capacitor bank, and also the amount of energy that which can be produced, or energy to be produced. The two things are there. That is, first one is the energy rating, and also the amount of energy produced. So these two are to be controlled in order to have an optimum result. So that is not that much easy. It is a difficult process. Then for the materials having critical impact velocities, critical impact velocity. Critical impact velocity means the minimum velocity that may have a change, or that may create a change, or the maximum velocity up to which there is no change. So anyway, the materials having the critical impact velocities below 30 meter per second. These types of materials are not practically possible for hydraulic electro-hydraulic forming. So the materials which is having critical impact velocity less than 30 meter per second are practically not possible for the electro-hydraulic forming. Now, this is another thing is, this is suitable only for the smaller works. So for bigger works, it is not possible. So only for smaller works. So it is possible only for smaller works. Then regarding the usage of the vacuum. So in this case also, we are using vacuum. We need to create a vacuum in the die in order to have a or in order to collapse the workpiece towards the die, or prevent the or reduce the effect of the adiabatic heating. So the need of vacuum that may create extra cost. So need of vacuum, so it will add the cost, adds the cost. So one more, that is regarding the stand of distance. So there should be a optimum stand of distance. So we should maintain a proper stand of distance in order to have an effective process. So these are the main disadvantages while using electro-hydraulic forming or electro spark forming. First of all, we have seen the main thing regarding the energy rating and amount of energy required. Then we have seen the materials, which is having the critical impact velocity less than 30 meter per second. It is not practically possible, and it is possible to only form the materials which is smaller in size, and the bigger size work pieces cannot be formed using this particular method. The bigger work pieces are usually formed using the other thing, that is explosive forming. So in this process, we cannot use the small work. You can machine or form only the small work pieces. And next is regarding the need of vacuum. So using vacuum or creating vacuum only, we will be able to collapse the workpiece towards the die. So this may create additional cost in the operation. So for each operation, we have to maintain the vacuum. So additional cost will be there. And finally, regarding the standoff distance, that is the distance between the workpiece and the spark generation point of the, or the point of generation of the spark. So we have to maintain a optimum distance for the standoff distance in order to have a effective process. So these are about the disadvantages. So the main characteristics. So main characteristics are almost same as that for the explosive forming here also. The only difference is in explosive forming, we use certain chemicals or explosives. Here in this case, we are using what you call the sparks. Electrical sparks are used here. And also the difference is in electro-hydraulic forming, we cannot form the final product in a single shot. We have to repeat the process. While in the case of explosive forming, we will be able to form the particular product within a single shot itself. So that is the main difference. And also regarding the energy produced, the energy produced by the spark is less compared to the explosion. In the explosion, we will be having a tremendous amount of energy will be released, and due to that only we can say in the single throw or the single procedure itself, the final product is being created. Now the process characteristics. What are the basic process characteristics? We will list out. Process characteristics. Process characteristics. So what are the main process variables or variables that can affect the process? First one, standoff distance. We have seen standoff distance. It is a distance from the spark, the point of spark generation towards the workpiece. So while maintaining the distance or changing the distance, the quality of the end product also changes. So it should be a optimum value for the standoff distance. Next is the capacitor. Capacitor which is used to store the energy and which will discharge the electric energy at the time when we need to have a spark. So depending on the capacitor or the capacity of the capacitor, the end product will also vary, or the energy produced by the pressure pulse. This may vary according to the energy produced by the capacitor. So if more energy is produced by the capacitor, that means more energy will be there for the pressure pulse. So everything depends on the size of the capacitor. Then the transfer medium. So it depends on the transfer medium. Usually we use water as the transfer medium. Then next process characteristic is the vacuum itself. So we know we need the vacuum. So based on the vacuum, the amount of the vacuum, we'll be able to prevent the adiabatic heating, and it will be helpful to collapse the workpiece towards the die. And finally, the material property of the workpiece material. Material properties. So these are the process characteristics of a electro-hydraulic forming or electro spark forming. That is stand-off distance, the capacitor, transfer medium, vacuum, and material properties. Now finally, we will see the applications. What are the areas or application areas of the electro-hydraulic forming applications? So where it is applicable. So mainly in the radar dish, So in the radar dish or some cone-shaped products which are thinner and smaller. So in the case of cone-shaped objects in the thicker mode, then we'll adopt explosive forming. In the case of thin workpiece or smaller workpieces, suppose we have to produce a cone shape, then we will move to the this particular operation, that is electro spark forming. And also in the case of aerospace applications, aerospace applications, aerospace industries, in order to have the process like bulging and all. Okay, bulging, forming, beading, drawing, blanking, piercing, etc. In the case of aerospace applications, we use this particular operation. So these are the basic applications. That is the radar dish, preparing cone shaped material in the thin and small workpieces, and also the aerospace applications. So these are all about the electro-hydraulic forming process. So this by this we come to the end of our module, fifth module. So in the next class we'll start our sixth module.